Hello all my little nerds. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Apparently I start all my videos with that and I just realised I kind of do. But this is a little bit different today and I thought it would be exciting. This video and the ones I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks up until Halloween, I'm going to do some other videos sprinkled in, but I'm going to do this little mini series of kind of makeup videos but inspired by DC comic characters. It might not be for everyone, and if so, that's okay. You don't have to watch these, no pressure. But I've had quite a few kind of comments recently about my makeup and how I do my makeup, and also I've had a few people asking me to do more comic related videos and graphic novel related videos, and I figured this was going to kind of be a fun way to combine the two and kind of make it relevant for Halloween, hopefully. I'm not sure. I know this might sound like a little bit rambly for now, but basically what I'm going to be doing over, I think, about 5 videos maybe. I've not quite decided how I'm going to film these yet. I'm half making it up as I go along. But basically what I want to do is do 5 different DC character inspired makeup looks on camera for you guys. It's not exactly going to be a tutorial, although I will tell you everything like the products I'm using and how I'm doing it. It's more going to be an experiment that you guys watch along with me, if that makes any sense. So I've not practiced these looks. I don't know how they're going to turn out, but I do have them all planned out and I've got my little notes for them and everything. So I've thought this through. And they aren't going to be like costumes or cosplay or anything like that. So they're not going to be like direct replicas of the characters, but they're going to take some kind of key character kind of traits and like design features and stuff and use that to inspire a hopefully slightly wearable makeup look. Obviously, it's not going to be like everyday makeup. It's going to be pretty kind of like big, fun, out there makeup. Yeah, I think it should be fun, and I'm really excited to see what happens, which is why I'm sat here all barefaced and horrible, and you can see all my spots. No, I'm really excited to give this a go and see what happens. A couple of disclaimers before I start. I am trying very hard at the moment to replace a lot of the makeup products that I use and that I own with similar products that are cruelty-free and preferably vegan, but this is proving a little bit harder than it sounds because I recently found out, thanks to a wonderful commenter on Instagram, that Rimmel aren't cruelty-free, and I've spent so much money on Rimmel products. It's really, really annoying and I really regret it now. The problem is I own a hell of a lot and they're very, very good at what they do. So I'm at a point where I'm trying to just like use up the stuff that I have left and then I'll replace it with other cruelty-free products. But that means in these videos, I am going to be using some brands like Rimmel that aren't cruelty-free. In that respect, I recommend them as good products, but I don't recommend them as a brand. Do you know what I mean? I don't have the money to go out and buy like new foundation and new this and new this and new this, like new everything basically. So where I'm like, I needed a fuchsia pink lip product and Rimmel is the only one I have, I couldn't exactly go out and afford to replace everything. I am trying my best where I can to replace everything with cruelty-free. What I will say is that for these videos, I have bought a few new products and new things that I needed, and I've tried to make sure that everything I've bought is cruelty-free and vegan. For example, I Heart Revolution's little Mermaid's Heart palette. It is cruelty-free and vegan, which is great. Also, interestingly, Primark have gone cruelty-free on all of their stuff, which is why all the things like false eyelashes and false nails that I'm going to be using are from Primark, because they're cheap and they're cruelty-free, which is ideal for me. And finally, the one thing I will say is that everything I'm using in this video, in all my videos, is completely affordable and available on the high street. I'm not going to be using like £60 foundation and like a £80 eyeshadow palette. Like everything is completely affordable and like available for everyone. So I think probably my most expensive thing I'm using is this little NYX eyeshadow palette, which is like £16 or £18 or something like that. Everything else is completely affordable and available and accessible to everyone. One brand I will kind of recommend and shout out before I start that I'm going to be using quite a lot of their products is Barry M. I've been really, really impressed with Barry M over the last year. They really stepped up their game to make some really, really good products. And again, all their makeup is cruelty-free and vegan, which is really important to me, like I say. So some great stuff from Barry M if you're interested in that. And again, very, very affordable. They're brilliant. Anyway, I think that's all the business out of the way. I won't be doing this at the start of every video, just this one because it's like the introductory one. But yeah, let's get into kind of like the bulk of today's video. I'm really excited for this. Today, the makeup look we are doing you probably know this because you read the title, is Starfire. I love Starfire so much. She's one of my favourite DC characters. I'll tell you more about her and talk more about why I like her as we go through the makeup look, but for now, let's get started prepping my face. If you want to know all the products I'm using, I'll put them in the description below. Basically, what I'm going to be trying to do today is a pink to purple gradient on my eye with a little pop of green in the corner for her gems. But for now, I'm just going to get started prepping my skin with a little primer. This is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. And seriously, this stuff is so good. I'm nearly out of it, actually. It's about £7 or £8 for the tube. And seriously, it smooths your skin so much. Makes it literally as soft as a baby's bum. That's still a phrase people use and don't sound creepy, right? And it just creates a nice, really even canvas for you to start any makeup look on. Next up, I'm going to do my eyebrows because they're not really a huge part of this look. So I'm just going to get them out of the way. I'm just going to fill them up with a little NYX eyebrow kind of powder palette and just sort of shape them. Please don't judge how scruffy my eyebrows currently are. So I start in this inner corner and then kind of line the brow on the bottom and just get a nice straight line where I can, and then just kind of work up, fluffing them up and kind of filling them in and making them look less sparse, really. And I'm just using a regular thin angled brush to do this. There we go. That'll do, right? As I'm constantly told and never remember, they're sisters, not twins. So now I'm just going to kind of get my eyes ready for a little bit of eyeshadow using a mix of the Revolution Pro Under Eye Illuminating Primer and the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Eyeshadow Base. So the primer is going under my eyes, the eyeshadow base is going on my lid, and I'm just going to blend them both in with a little damp makeup sponge. This is great for giving a really, really even base to your eyeshadow, and because I have quite veiny skin on my eyelid, this really helps smooth it all down. It also, when you're using bright colours, really helps the colours to pop. There you go, but once it's blended on, you can barely see it's there. Okay, now I'm going to start the eyeshadow looks, and this is where I get kind of really nervous. Okay, I'm going to start by just kind of trying to pack the colour on my eye, and then I'll work to blend it out later. So my favourite blending brush is the Spectrum B07 brush. I love Spectrum brushes. They're both really affordable and really good at what they do. So if you are looking for any good brushes, go with Spectrum. I'm going to start with the Revolution Pro Regeneration Trends Mischief Mattes palette. As a mouthful, basically it's just a really nice bright palette. These colours are so great for being like really sort of bold and bright, and I wear these quite a lot in my videos because they're fun. So I think I'm going to start with the colour Fearless and just kind of start applying it to the inner corner of my eye. So not the inner bit here, but like the inner part of my lid, if that makes sense. So if you don't know much about Starfire, she is this basically an alien princess who is next in line to the throne on her planet. She got into a rival with her sister, and depending on basically which story arc you read, there are different ways of getting there, but she ends up being sold as a slave or end up in slavery, and she has a horrific few years. Eventually she gets away and she ends up on Earth, and in different story arcs she's part of Teen Titans, or even sometimes the Justice League, or she works with Red Hood and the Outlaws, and I think they're some of my favourite ones. But I might be biased because that was kind of my introduction to Starfire. Sorry, my chair's squeaking under me as I move. I think a lot of people kind of misunderstand her because they just see her as a bit of a sex object, to be honest, because she does wear quite sort of skimpy outfits, and you know, she doesn't kind of cover up that much, but she doesn't need to because she doesn't exactly get cold like we do, so can't blame her there. Right now I'm just taking this up above my crease and kind of blending it out a little bit. I've kind of just packed the colour on for now, but I'm going to switch to my Spectrum blending brush and really start to kind of like blend this colour out a little bit. So Starfire is really amazing because she's been through a hell of a lot, but she never really kind of lets herself be the victim, which I really respect. She's a really kind of strong warrior. She's a woman who kind of knows what she wants and isn't afraid to get it, but sometimes she can also be kind of emotionally vulnerable, which kind of admitting that is a little bit admirable and makes her a little bit more human. Chair squeaking. I say human, she's an alien, you know. I definitely have mixed feelings about the Starfire I've seen in the Teen Titans trailer. So I was so excited when I heard Starfire was going to be in Teen Titans because, you know, Starfire, I love her. And I thought it would be amazing to see her on a kind of mainstream platform, I guess you could say. I was like, oh, well, you know, more people are going to know about her and more people love her and stuff like that. And then I saw what they did to the character. And like, a lot of people I think are complaining about the actress, but I have no issues with that. I think it actually makes kind of perfect sense for a black woman to play her, because Starfire has basically orange skin and no one naturally has orange skin. So if you're gonna kind of try and come close to replicating that, why not have a black actress play her? I don't know. Just so you guys know, I'm switching over to the NYX Ultimate Bright palette, this little one, and I'm using this little shade of pink up here. I'm just going to put this next to the pink I've already put down on my lid and start to blend it together. So yeah, I have zero issues with the actress. What I have a problem with is the costume. Oh my god, it looks trashy as hell. That like leopard print coat and like, oh no. Starfire's always been about kind of like being very feminine and very kind of both aware and unaware of her body at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like she's like, yeah, okay, it's my body and I accept it and I embrace it and I love it, but I don't really care what other people think of it. On the one hand, she's not afraid to embrace her sexuality and use it to get what she wants, but on the other hand, she doesn't cheapen it and she's never an object to anyone. The Starfire in the Teen Titans trailer just looks trashy. That's all there is to it. Her whole outfit is just trashy. And I'm really worried what they're going to do to her, because based on some of the other characters in that trailer, oh, I'm worried. Next up, I'm going to take this little purple colour here and then start to kind of like blend it into this corner and also blend it up a little bit as well. I always feel with makeup and stuff, I always start by applying like the least amount possible, because I always say you can always put more on, but it's really difficult to take it off. That's why I tend to build up my colours like this quite slowly, and I do it quite subtly. So at first it might not look like much, but by the time I'm done it can be like a really nice bright pop of colour. I think coming back to the Teen Titans TV program though, I am very curious to see what they're going to do with it. You never know, they might surprise us, you know? Maybe. Possibly. We can hope. I think I've got a little too much pink going on here. I definitely want to add more purple into the mix. Like I say, this picture is my inspiration and this is what I'm looking at right now. And I want to try and get that like purpliness of Starfire. But I think the pink is good to add a little like femininity to it. I'm worried with so much purple that I don't want it to just look like a black eye. I think for me, and this might be a little controversial, one of my favourite Starfire moments was in the Red Hood and the Outlaws comic, where she basically gets, I think it's like the distress call or something from her ship, and it's all crewed by like freed slaves like her, and she's like the commander of the ship, and she goes to war with her sister basically, and at this point Jason and Roy, they know she's awesome and they totally respect her and they're great and stuff, but then they kind of see her as this almost like war chief and commander in control of this whole ship, and they're kind of like a little bit in awe, and she's just like suddenly strong and powerful and she has this like amazing armor on, and I love that moment in those issues. It's so good. Alright, before I get much further, I'm gonna take a fluffy but flat brush and go back to some of the pink colours I was using and just start to blend these out under my eye. So coming up to join the colour at the side. I think the really important thing for me when I'm doing makeup is to spend a long time sort of blending colours out, making sure I don't have any harsh edges. There you go. I'm kind of happy with that. Before I put any of the green on, I'm going to go for some black eyeliner. And the black eyeliner I'm using today is Rimmel, annoyingly, but it's the Exaggerate eyeliner. It's a really, really good one I found. I've tried Barry M's On Point black liner, and it just doesn't have the staying power for me. It smudges quite easily, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm on the lookout for one that's just as good as this. I also quite like this one, the L'Oreal Perfect Slim Super Liner. I love this, but I find it runs out so easily for me, and I've run out at the minute. I just keep the pen around to remind me to buy another one. I love that one. It's not quite as black as this, but the brush is kind of like a pen, like a felt tip, and it's really, really easy to use. I love it. So I'm just going to put a really thin line of this really close to my lashes, and then flick it up into a kind of tiny, tiny little cat eye, nothing too over the top. Annoyingly, we're back to Rimmel again because we're using their Wonder Swipe liner in this gorgeous fuchsia pink called Mega Hottie. So what I'm going to do with this is, it's really cute because you get this really thin kind of pointy little brush. It's really, really easy to apply, and the brush is great because it kind of flows as you use it, so it molds to your lid basically. So I'm gonna outline the black liner wing with pink. Does that make any sense? Let's hope I don't screw it up. I'm literally just drawing a line above where I drew the last one. I'm gonna go for a nice kind of sparkly look because it's Starfire, you know? If anyone deserves a bit of sparkle, it's Starfire. Speaking of Starfire, has anyone here, I say this like you can reply to me right now and I'm gonna hear you, I wish I could. Has anyone played the Injustice games? Because, oh, they're so good. Injustice Gods Among Us. Injustice 2, one of the extra characters you can get is Starfire, and we bought her because I love Starfire, and she is so much fun to play as. She does all these really cool kind of like power beams, and I'm not very good with the proper words for these things, but they're so cool. And the outfits you can get for her are amazing. She's one of my favourite characters to play as. There's this one where she does this kind of like sort of flip in midair, and then like goes and like kicks and punches, and it's like, ooh, that's fine. It's really cool, okay? Next up, I am gonna take a little solid flat brush, so not like a blending brush or anything, this is more to pat the colour onto the lid. And I'm gonna take one of Barry M's holographic eyeshadow toppers in the colour Stardust. This one's gorgeous. It's really kind of like purple and pinky based, but in some lights it looks a little bit green, which is what we want for Starfire and her gems. It does come with like a little kind of brush on the end, but I'm actually going to pick up some of the product from this brush on my flat brush because it gives me a little bit more control. And I'm just going to put this on the like kind of inner corner of my lid and blend it out a little bit. So it's not going to be over at the far side of my lid. It's going to kind of blend over subtly until then. And it's not going to go up above my crease either. And now I'm going to take a tiny little round brush, like this one, and I'm going to take my new I Heart Revolution Mermaid's Heart palette. It's the first time I'm using this, and I think I'm going to try for this shade here. So it's this like metallic-y greeny shade, and I want to put a little bit in the corners of my eyes to kind of be like Starfire's gems. That's what I'm going for. We'll see. Oh, it's such a pretty colour. I love this palette. I'm so excited. I got it specifically for one of my other makeup looks I'm going to be doing, which might give you a clue as to who he is. But we'll see. The colours are so pigmented. I love this. Look how pretty that is. Alright, next I'm gonna do my skin. Normally I clean up any like fallout I've had from the eyeshadow, but I haven't had any with this. These are such good products for the price. I absolutely love it. Alright, again, I'm sorry I'm using so much Rimmel. I already have so much and it really annoys me. But I'm using the Rimmel Lasting Finish foundation. I'm using a full coverage one here because I'm on camera. Normally again, don't judge me, I own two of them. Normally I use this one, which is a medium coverage breathable foundation. I use that if I'm like going out to a club with my friends or something, or to a party or whatever, because I don't really need full coverage, or I don't really feel like I need it. But when I'm on camera and when I'm doing stuff like this, which I'm hopefully going to be taking some pictures of, I tend to use full coverage just because it works better with the lighting and stuff. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this, you really don't need much, and with a damp sponge blend it all over my face. See? My spot's going already. You guys might have also noticed my hair's a bit of a wreck at the minute. I'm in the middle of stripping back all the old dye out of it because I'm re-dyeing it, but I want a nice kind of as even as I can get canvas for dyeing it dark brown again. Otherwise it might end up splotchy and horrible. So I always use colour before in between dyeing. I dye it probably once every 4, 5, 6 months. I'm a bit lazy, I always let my roots grow out too far. And then I use colour before in between, give it a few days. I know you can dye it straight away, but I always give it a few days off, really kind of condition it well in that time and stuff. So this is the in-between period after colour before, but before the dye, where it's kind of like a weird shade. Because I've used so many like red based dyes over the last 6 years, my hair does always have like a slightly like mousy ginger kind of tint to it when I've used colour before. And blending this all the way down to my neck. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Maybelline Eraser Eye Concealer. Loads of people I've seen recommending this actually, and it's one of my favourite, kind of like a little sponge on the end. I'm just going to use a little bit of this to help cover up the dark circles under my eyes, a few of my more obvious spotty areas, and it also helps shield some of the chickenpox scars I have around. You guys have actually noticed these, but you seem to think they're like spots or piercings or something. I have a lot of chickenpox scars on my face. I didn't get chickenpox till I was 16, and when I did, it was really, really bad. It was horrible. So now I'm left with a few little scars all over my body. Look, like right here, there's a really deep one here that you can't actually see on camera. But I also have some on my nose. I literally have them all over. My tummy, I think they're on my back, although I can't see them myself. I have some on my legs, on my arms, all over my face, in my eyebrows. They're really, really annoying. It's not so much how they look that bothers me, but the fact that because they dip in, it makes makeup coverage really annoying, and it's really hard to try and get it even looking. And they always like cast really deep shadows, so it looks like I've got spots or, you know, in some cases piercings and stuff, and it's annoying. As I said, in my day-to-day life, no one ever notices them except me, so. Now what I'm going to attempt to do, I'm so bad with bronzer. I hate bronzer. So I never wear bronzer anyway because my skin has quite like yellowish undertones anyway, and I feel like bronzer just makes me look a bit silly. And, you know, if I go out in the sun for 5 minutes anyway, like, I get stupidly tanned and bleh. I'm going to try some bronzer around certain parts of my face because, you know, Starfire has kind of orange-ish skin, and I want to try and not exactly mimic that, but be inspired by it. So I'm going to try doing a kind of like a little bit of bronzer up on the forehead. I'm going to try a little bit around the cheeks here. And hopefully it won't look stupid. I might use the big kind of like fluffy flat brush for this. Damn, I have no idea what I'm doing. People seem to think I know what I'm doing with makeup, and I don't at all. I just make it up as I go along. Yeah, let's try this. So this is a Maybelline Dream Sun Triple Bronzing Powder. It's got like 3 shades in it. I'm gonna basically just swirl my brush and try and get a mix of each. Gonna be honest, it's probably not a good idea to be using this bronzer because I'm not sure how old this is. Like I say, I don't use bronzer. I'm normally quite good for checking the dates on my makeup and using things in plenty of time and whatever, but this one, like I say, is quite old. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna say it's okay. Okay, now I'm gonna use my little new thing that I'm very excited about. This little cutie, look, it's a little skull-shaped kind of like decanter with a pipette. It's part of Revolution's new Halloween makeup line, and it is so adorable. It's so cute. So I'm going to put a few drops on my cheeks here to kind of light me up a little bit. And I'm going to go a little over the top with this, more than I normally would, because like I say, it's Starfire, and I want her to glow. Now for lips. A Barry M lip liner in the shade Allure. I'm going to line my lips with this. And I don't just want to line on my lips, I'm going to blend the colour up a little bit into the centre of my lips. This Barry M liner's okay. I'm kind of using it because it's the only one I have in the right colour. But my favourite lip liners that I found are the NYX ones. So for me, the purpose of a lip liner is mostly to stop my lip product kind of running or like fraying at the edges, if that makes sense. But I also try and use it to even out the shape of my lips because, you know, my lips aren't symmetrical. No one's are, really, except, you know, bitches. Joking. So I do try and use it to help even out my lips, which doesn't work sometimes. You know, close enough, that'll do. And now, because I'm a doo-doo brain again, we're using a Rimmel product, I'm sorry. These are the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Colours, and I hate to say they are some of my favourite matte lip sticks, lip products, lip products, we'll go with that. They're so good. The colours are gorgeous, the staying power is gorgeous, I just wish they were cruelty-free. Look, they go on so smoothly and they feel so soft on your lips, and they're not half as drying as most products are. Most matte products, anyway. The colour feels kind of very 80s to me, but I like that. I think it's really fun. It's a really, really bold colour. I definitely wouldn't have had the guts to wear this even like 3 years ago, but I love it now. And now my secret to making this a little bit more Starfire-y is that once this is completely dry, I'm going to add some of this I Heart Revolution Pink Wish Unique Unicorns lipstick. Look how pretty this is. It's gorgeous. And if you can see this, but it's like a pink glittery lipstick covered in stars. It's beautiful and the colour is so gorgeous. I'm going to add this as a kind of like metallic-y top coat to make this shine a little bit more. So pretty. I love this. Sorry about that. I had a full camera card, so I just had to switch it over. Hopefully you saw everything I did. If not, I added these little jewels to my face and some little blush to the apples of my cheeks. Now for a kind of finishing touch, all I'm going to do, I feel this needs a little bit more green because it's Starfire. So I'm going to take this shade from the Mermaid Hearts palette and add a little more into the very corners of my eyes, like the tiniest little dot. Teeny tiny. Now I'm going to add kind of green as a sort of highlight under the brow, if that makes sense. I'm going to be using this shade here that we used on the inner corners as well. So a tiny, tiny bit of it. I'm hoping it'll be a kind of really subtle little hint. There's just a little bit more Starfire. There we go. You know what? I reckon this is done. All I need to do now, grab my hair. Yeah, it wasn't a big reveal, was it? Yeah, my hair's kind of ratty at the minute, so please excuse it. So this is my finished Starfire inspired look. Hopefully you liked this video and the talk of comic books and nerdy stuff along the way. I do have some other videos like this planned coming up where we're going to be doing some looks inspired by some really cool characters. This is probably the most wearable look of the lot that's like the least sort of out there, and I do really like this one. I do think the whole kind of little green and pink thing is something I would wear in a video normally, maybe without the gems, and maybe without the bronzer, which isn't too obvious on camera right now, but it is quite obvious when I look in the mirror. I want to be surprised who the characters are, but I kind of also really want to tell you. It's tough. Tell you what, have a guess in the comments below who the other 4 characters are that I'm going to do makeup inspired by. 2 of them are men, 2 of them are women. To give you a little clue, 3 of them are heroes, 1 of them is a little ambiguous, if that means anything. And they're all DC because I love DC. So let me know what you thought of this video. If you want to see more in this series, let me know what you think I could do better when I'm filming the others, because I'm a little rubbish at this. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you liked this. If you did, you can see more pictures of the finished look, including some close-ups of the eyes and stuff like that, over on my Instagram account, at Rachel Oates. But Oates with a 0 instead of an O, because I'm annoying like that. But thank you so much for watching today and letting me do something a little bit different and have just a little bit of silly fun with my channel. I appreciate you guys so much. You're amazing. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for everyone who's supporting my channel this month, especially everyone supporting me on Patreon, including Gambit and his chauffeur, Deshawn, Mark Darner, Christian Berg, Rachel B. Royer, Jaden Shepherd, Jaylee Moore, Religions BS, Sir Michael Moore, Christian Oates, Sage Villarreal, Greg Ladd, and Spencer Young. You're all seriously amazing and I can't thank you enough. Also check out everyone else mentioned on the end screen here and down in the description below. And if you got a little bit of spare time and you want to check out my merch store, then you know, you can do that if you want. No pressure.